everybody, to Awaken the Best You. I am your co-host, Anna Levin, and with us is our lovely host, Misty Springer. Welcome back, Misty.
Thank you. Thanks for being here with me, and thank you all for joining us on this conversation. It's going to be a great conversation. I'm excited.
Yes, I am particularly excited about this topic today. It is not your willpower. It's a very much needed and debated among people that are looking to make a difference in their lives. So I cannot wait to explore this in more depth and for you to share also with us your personal experience with it as well as with your clients. So what is this It's Not Your Willpower all about? What is it?
Well, I think it really, when we are thinking about making a change in our bodies, in our life, in our relationships, oftentimes the place that we're coming from is we're trying to motivate ourselves from a place of, I have to do this. I have to lose weight because I need to feel better about myself and my body. I have to lose weight so that I can have more energy. It feels very much like we're holding on by our fingernails, like the choices that we're making are feel like they're coming from a place of I have to. And I want you to just think about, when was a time when you felt like you had to do something, and how motivated were you to do it? Not very motivated. Like it's almost an opposite motivator. We don't want to do something that we feel like we have to do.
Yeah.
But when we feel like we want to do something, that's when it feels really empowering and really motivating. So, think about a time, chocolate cake or broccoli, where is I have to and where is I want to? I mean, we want the chocolate cake so much, we're creating a plan not to, right?
Yes.
But that feels an awful lot like I have to not eat chocolate cake because I need to lose weight in order to feel good about myself.
Yeah, and it's such a simple distinction. However, like you're saying, when it comes down to picking and choosing and wanting what's good for us, what is there? Can you speak to that place, that really what's the word, fragile and tender place, where we don't know how to want, even though we know that is good for us. We don't allow ourselves to want the broccoli, right?
Well, and I think that what that comes down to is really listening and understanding what it is that we want. So if what I want comes from a place of lack, from a place of fear, I want to lose weight because I don't feel good about my body, then it feels like willpower. But when that want comes from a place of love, I want to honor and nourish and care for this gift that I have been given, then the broccoli becomes a little bit more desirable. What if you wanted the broccoli because what you really wanted was confidence in your body, feeling good in your body, energy, and feeling clarity and confidence? Well, that's what the broccoli gives you. And so when you focus on what you really truly want, which is from a place of love and abundance, then that's when you can start to shift into that place of I want to. But that starts with giving yourself permission to let go of the need to lose weight in order to feel good about myself, and shift into the place of I want to take care of myself because I love this gift that I've been given.
Absolutely. I love it. And people, I was thinking as you were talking, the element of fear, because I agree with you. And in my personal practice, especially in the past 5 years, has been one of discovering my self-worth more and loving myself more. And what does it mean to really love myself, and making choices from that place? And of course, I don't always, succeed. However, I'm committed to the practice until I continue to, as I continue to increase my self-love. But can you speak a little bit to the fear, the element of fear, and the programming that we all have, really, because it's every single human being, whether we have heard it as little children, oh, you look good in that or not good in, and then we make up a story. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm fat, or, especially as women, we have, but men too, because I see it with my son with his hair, and he's 16, and
Yeah.
so, right. So that, I think that's a good place to make a distinction and walk people how we can arrive to a place of love and wanting more.
I think it really is, though those fears are real, and those fears are what they're there because they are trying to keep us safe. They're trying to, what we are doing on a regular basis we're trying to keep ourselves doing what is familiar, even if it isn't in service to us. It's what we've remembered, it's what we know, it's the story that we're living over and over and over again. And so when we're coming from that place of fear, then we relive that story. That's what we're living in. We're living in that fear. What we see is what we bring back to us. And I know we'll have a conversation about this in another episode about where we shine our light. But what the place that I begin every single program with every client that I work with is that we get really clear on what it is that they are. What is this best version of you? What does she look like? What does she feel like? How does she express herself? And oftentimes women, like you were saying, we don't give ourselves permission to even know that person because we're so focused on all the things that we're not, that it's really challenging to think about what we are and come from that place. So when we're making a decision, we're not getting quiet and listening to ourselves. We're reacting to these fears and these programming that have been going on for years. We're reacting to the idea that I have to have my body look a certain way in order to feel better about myself. We're waiting to feel better about ourselves until we've reached that. And we have it all backwards. We have to start from the inside. We have to find that best version of ourselves. We have to get quiet and listen to what who that person is, and really understand who that person is so that we can make decisions from that place.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful place to start.
Yes. I mean, I found myself in that place, like I said, 5-6 years ago. And it really is a sad, and then it goes to anger and all the types of emotions that we could possibly talk about because I think it's important for people to understand that it's a roller coaster a little bit sometimes, also to learn how to change, right? Because we have been doing it for so long, like you said, it's familiar. But if we have the courage to look at it, then we can change it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really does begin with that awareness. I know for me, what started as learning to listen to my body, giving myself permission to have what I wanted, and not give my confidence away. I was giving my confidence away to the diet and to what my girlfriends were doing and what somebody else was telling me was good for my body. And I wasn't tuning in and listening to my own inner heart and my guidance of what my body needed. My body was the expert. And when I started to give myself permission to trust my own intuition and start listening to my body, it was like my whole world started to open up. All of a sudden, I was giving myself permission to have what I wanted in other areas, because I for so long had denied myself what I wanted because it felt like it was wrong. It was not in the diet. It was too many calories, too many sugar grams, too many fat grams. And what I came to find out is that when I really truly started listening to my body, what I did want was the broccoli.
Oh.
I really did want that because I was listening to what my body was telling me. The fear is that if I listen to my body and have what I want, I'm going to survive on chocolate cake for the next 2 weeks. And that's
we wish sometimes.
yeah.
What as you're speaking, I mean, it's really interesting because what I'm seeing is the difference between what your heart was saying and your mind was saying is two different things, and learning to differentiate those two, I think it's really what gives us the breakthrough, right? To go from have to I want to. No, like I truly want this because this gives me everything that I'm seeking. It's almost like we're believing the lie of the familiarity of how we are operating in the world, or what we think it's the right way, which is horrible, because then we feel awful, we feel guilty, we feel we punish ourselves, where in reality what we want is wanting the health, wanting the well-being, wanting the self-love. That's beautiful. I really appreciate that distinction, because a lot of the time people ask, how do you go from A to B? Like, I understand intellectually, I understand going to, have to want to, but I think it's super cool to help people get a feel for what it looks like, and, yeah.
Well, and one of the things I find too is that there is a very good reason that we use the fear as a motivator. Oftentimes when I'm working with my clients and they're going through all these negative messages in their head, for example, I worked with one client and she said, I can't tell myself that I love myself because I don't like this body that I'm in. I don't want to feel like I am just accepting it for what it is, not making any changes, because I do want to change my body. I do want to feel healthy in my body. I do want to feel energy. So how do I stop beating myself up? Because if I stop beating myself up, then I'm never going to be motivated to do anything good for myself. And I want you to the thinking around that is really detrimental, because what we're doing is we're using, it's the thought that if I just beat myself up enough, then I will be motivated to change, right? We're using that negative self-talk and those negative beliefs to try to motivate our change. And yet, where is it coming from? It's coming from a place of lack and fear. And so when you think about that, one of the questions I asked her was, well, how is that working for you? Are you motivated when you beat yourself up? And when she thought about it, it was no, it demotivates me. I feel like I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. I don't want to do it. I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm never going to get there.
Yes.
And so when the come from is from a place of scarcity and lack, the intention is good. The intention is that we want to be better, but the way that we're going about it needs to be shifted. And that's from that aligning from a place of wholeness and love versus scarcity and lack.
I love it. And it's something that you and I were talking about it before, about the definition that we all have about what love truly is. And it's so skewed by the experiences that we have in life that even sometimes that's what happens. We believe that we have to punish ourselves. But in reality, we really have almost like a disrespect for what stress can do for, our well-being. And yes, I love everything that you're saying. So even in a little discovery session with you, that I know that this is what you offer people. This is your giving back to the community and to humanity. How can people find you and talk to you?
Well, that is one of my favorite things to do is a discovery session, because I do like to give back and just have conversations with women and help them to shift out of this place of lack and scarcity into this place of treating yourself with love. And that is on my website. You can message me. You can, there's a little box at the bottom of my website at mistyspringer.com, and there's a place to schedule a free complimentary discovery session with me. It's a conversation. It's an opportunity to see what are the places that you're holding yourself back, and how to go for your goals. How do you step into this woman that you know in your heart you want to be?
I love it.
Find me on Facebook or Instagram. Message me there. Either way.
And you have also newsletters, right? You read it? Yes. I think that's super cool, because sometimes when we read something we get inspired, and this is what I want to tell people is to take advantage of Misty, because the truth of the matter is sometimes when we are suffering and we want change, we are shy and we don't want to get out there, but we don't have to do it alone. As a matter of fact, at least in my experience, I'm going to be real, I haven't been able to do many things by myself. Okay. The big changes.
Me too.
Yeah. You know, it always comes with beautiful people like yourself that we can lean on, and they can hold our hands temporarily, and then, you know, off we go. And so I hope that people really take you on this offer, beautiful, generous offers. So.
Well, thank you.
Well, I love it. And next episode, we're going to talk about, you know, where your people are shining their lights and what that means, and go on that. And so I love it. Thank you so much, Misty.
Well, thank you for being here with me. Pleasure.
My pleasure. See you next.
Okay.
Bye.